actually affect them, to come up with youth solutions to challenges that affect them?
Basically, looking at what is happening at the moment, it's quite difficult to categorically class the youths that we have, and also to categorically say that there isn't anything that the government is doing, um, in the sense that we have this huge challenge that we have, the pandemic. And at the same time, it's also important to get back as far as maybe 5 years down the line from where we are, so that we can have a proper background from where we are getting this position in which we are as Zambians, and then also to look at how we can offer opportunities in line with the 7th National Development Plan, Chapter 4, which is talking about opportunities for everyone. So, under the current prevailing conditions, we have seen, like in the art industry, we have seen the coming up of a lot of youths coming up with a lot of initiatives, which I think, as the situation stands today, the government has also come in to give in some amount, which we will discuss as we get along with this discussion, which I can say that for the first time in the history of Zambia, we have seen this commitment being demonstrated by the ruling government.
Okay.
So it's up to now the youths to jumpstart what we have always failed to do, and whatever we have done on a small level, it's important that we maximize this synergy which the government has brought forth. So basically, as the position stands today, we see a government which is very listening, which is very much committed to the plight of our youths. But it's important also that the youths of today, they understand that these economic rights, political rights, and then also social rights, religious rights that we are enjoying at the moment came because somebody fought for us in 1964. So it's important that we come in with a culture of education, culture of reading, culture of research, so that we make informed decisions. And even when we are making claims, the claims, they have that foundation of an informed mind. So basically, there is a huge challenge that we need to get to the books. We need to get back to our research libraries, so that as we talk about what we are claiming, what we want, we do not adulterate them with the arrogance, with also insults, as it is pertaining on the ground. If you see, especially that me, I'm coming from partly from the social media world, where you find that the language is not speaking of the youth, which the Greek Athenians in 508 BC were advocating for, those citizens who are supposed to be responsible. But we see others, they are barbaric in their approach, others, they are tribal in their approach. So there is need to come up with responsible citizenship, starting from the youths themselves. Because if you look at the population of the youths out of the 18 million, it calls for concerted efforts, and then also seriousness that we provide that so much needed energy and resources for our youths, especially they are constituting about 16 million out of the 18 million population.
There are low levels of entrepreneurship among young people. This is coupled with access to appropriate finance.
Yes.
And in the end, the labor market does not have the capacity to absorb, all the youths, and so we begin to have issues of unemployment or underemployment, and on the other hand, the informal sector growing, on a yearly basis, or is it on a monthly basis? You were saying, okay, against this background, how do you see the youths being responsible enough with all these challenges?
The only way which this current government has already spoken about, it's that one of diversification. If we take, for instance, the agriculture, we are talking about where the government is saying we have injected some good money, that is about $30 million. And out of that $30 million, $8 million is dedicated to youth empowerment. This is an opportunity. For the first time, as I said, money has been made available, resources have been made available for our youths. And what is brilliant is that this government has also shown them where to put that money, and that is livestock and fisheries. So there is need that the youths of today must become very brave. All what we need is a bold youth. Boldness in the sense that they must be able to get the bull by its own. Here is agriculture, where we are saying we have a huge deficit when it comes to consumption of fish. This is an opportunity for our youths, especially that we are not just talking about farming, the component of it having a pool, but fishing itself, it will need somebody to distribute it. It will need somebody to have a shop. And if you look in our setup today, we have had our friends like the Rwandanese who came, and they have demonstrated and shown us how we can invest in our localities. That is coming up with shops just outside our premises where we're coming from. We never knew of such initiatives. So today, you go into any compound, you find that people have small little shops. So the most important thing is that how do we make now available these resources, or can I say products, which can champion employment? Like for this...
Are these resources available in both urban and rural areas? Because most of the times the concentration is urban areas. Rural areas, are they catered for adequately?
In fact, I have a lot of examples which is happening, like in Nakonde somewhere there. This is where you find that, in fact, the rural areas, when we're talking about livestock and fishery, that's where the resources are available. The first component is the resource of land. Land is available. Secondly, you are talking about the water. The water bodies, they are in fact located in these far-flung places, areas. So it's just a matter of government, the way they have come up to deliberately make sure that part of this $8 million that they have allocated to this, they go into these far-flung areas, so that we do not give people who are in urban, but those in Western Province, Northwestern Province, Ruapula.
And in the rural areas, that's where the resources are, like the natural resources.
The natural resources.
That's where they flourish better.
Yeah, that's where they flourish better. So I think even that should be a deliberate strategy, target. They target those youths, so that once they have those ponds, those farm areas they are running, you find now the youths from Lusaka will be able now to go and get the products, because the youths of Lusaka, they know well how to, they live in these localities here in Lusaka. But if you can go to Mongo, get the resources, make them available, so that we can have that.
Are the Zambian youths ready to follow these opportunities in the peri-urban or in the countryside?
What I've seen is that we have had such scenarios, like the people from Kashikishi, they are youths who have been involved in such activities. But previously, we never had such arrangement the way the current government has made these monies available. So there is need to encourage everyone, especially that a lot of them, they're getting blocked over paperwork. So there is need also for these permanent secretaries who are in these all ministries. They make it deliberate that they reach out to the far-flung places, so that information flows. And then also the bottleneck of coming up with this proposal. You find that a youth who is in Kashikishi, who can run a pond, or even maybe 20 ponds, you find that he only knows Bemba or Bisa, but he cannot articulate issues in this adopted English language. So there is need also to accept that we have a lot of youths out of these 6 million youths.
45 seconds to just finish with our thoughts so that we can go for the headlines at 11.
Thank you. So there is a need that we also accommodate the practicality of it, and then also deliberately go out and search out to see those youths already who are doing whatever they have been involved in Mongo, Kashikishi, Nwapula, and then also in Eastern Province, Southern Province, those who are already doing it, so that at the end of the day, it will be just a quick one.
Okay. All right. So, dear listener, youth solutions to youth challenges. That's what we're discussing on Morning Chat. The guest is governance activist Chendela Mukondo, and so we just take a break for the news headlines at 11 hours. I almost said 19 hours.